The rain poured heavily as Amara hurried through the crowded streets after finishing work. She pulled her thin jacket closer and checked her phone. 3 missed calls, all from her mother. A familiar knot tightened in her stomach. Money. It was always about money. Ever since her father passed away, life had become a constant struggle. Every day felt like a race she was losing. Her mother was unwell. Her younger brother still attended school. The bills kept growing. And somehow Amara was expected to keep everything together. She sighed and increased her pace. Suddenly, screech. A black SUV sped around a corner. The vehicle swerved violently. CRSH. The sound echoed through the street as the SUV slammed into a streetlight. People screamed. Within seconds, a crowd gathered around the wrecked vehicle. Amara froze. Smoke rose from the damaged engine. Most people pulled out their phones. Some began recording. Others simply watched. Then she heard it, a weak voice. Help! Amara's eyes widened. Someone was still alive inside. She looked around. Nobody moved. Nobody helped. The voice came again. Please. Without thinking, Amara pushed through the crowd. The driver's side was crushed. Broken glass covered the ground. Inside sat a young man. Blood trickled down his forehead. His eyes were barely open. He looked foreign, weak, terrified. Can you hear me? Amara asked. The stranger nodded slightly. Smoke continued pouring from beneath the vehicle. People around her began backing away. They feared an explosion. Amara glanced at the growing flames. Every second mattered. She spotted a metal rod nearby. Grabbing it with both hands, she smashed the remaining glass. The crowd gasped. She reached inside. The man groaned in pain. It's okay, she said. I've got you. Using every bit of strength she possessed, she pulled him free. The moment they stumbled away, boom, the vehicle exploded. A wave of heat rushed through the street. People screamed and ran. The stranger collapsed into Amara's arms. For a brief second, their eyes met. His dark eyes held gratitude, confusion, and something else she couldn't explain. Then he lost consciousness. Someone call an ambulance, she shouted. Sirens soon echoed through the city. Paramedics arrived and rushed to help. As they loaded the injured man onto a stretcher, several luxury vehicles suddenly appeared. The doors opened. Men in expensive suits stepped out. The moment they saw the injured stranger, their faces changed. Oh no, one of them rushed forward. Mr. Kang. Another man looked visibly shaken. Thank goodness he's alive. The paramedics exchanged confused glances. Amara watched silently. Who exactly was this man? One of the suited men approached her. His expression was filled with gratitude. Miss, were you the one who saved him? Amara nodded. The man stared at her for several seconds, almost as if he couldn't believe what she had done. Then he bowed slightly. You may have just saved one of the richest men in South Korea. Amara blinked. What? The man handed her a business card. His name is Kang Min-Jae. The name meant nothing to her, but judging from everyone's reaction, it clearly meant something important. If he survives, the man continued, he will want to meet you. Before Amara could respond, the ambulance doors closed. The convoy departed. Within minutes, the street became quiet again. The rain continued falling. Amara stood alone beneath the streetlight. She looked at the business card. Kang Min-Jae, a billionaire, a man she had never met, a man whose life she had just saved. She slipped the card into her pocket and continued home. What she didn't know was that the accident had not been an accident at all. And somewhere far away, a powerful enemy had already learned her name. Inside a luxurious office, a masked man watched footage of the crash on a large screen. A slow smile crossed his face. So, he survived. The man picked up his phone. Prepare the next phase. A voice answered immediately. Yes, sir. The masked man stared at Amara's image frozen on the screen. If Kang Min-Jae is alive, his smile disappeared. Then the girl who saved him must disappear. The masked man slowly lowered his phone. His eyes remained fixed on Amara's image displayed on the screen. Find everything about her. The men standing behind him nodded. Yes, sir. Family, friends, daily routine. I want to know everything. The room became silent. Nobody dared ask questions. Everyone understood one thing. When their boss gave an order, failure was not an option. Meanwhile, Amara finally arrived home. The house was dark. Only a small lamp illuminated the room. Her mother sat quietly at the table. Her younger brother was trying to finish his homework. The atmosphere immediately told her something was wrong. What happened? Her mother forced a smile. The landlord came again. Amara closed her eyes. Not again. What did he say? Her mother's voice trembled. He wants the rent by the end of the week. And if we don't have it, she didn't finish the sentence. She didn't need to. Amara already knew. They could lose their home. She slowly sat down. Exhaustion washed over her. The money she earned from work was barely enough for food. Saving enough for rent seemed impossible. Her brother looked up. Will we be okay? Amara smiled despite the fear inside her. Of course, but deep down she wasn't sure. That night she couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she remembered the accident. The explosion, the injured stranger, the men in suits, and the name, Kang Min-Jae. Who was he really? Why did powerful people seem so desperate to protect him? And why did she feel that meeting him would change everything? Eventually sleep claimed her. Outside, however, two men sat inside a parked vehicle. Watching her house, one of them held a photograph, Amara's photograph. We found her. The second man smiled. Good, boss will be pleased. The next morning felt normal, at least at first. Amara headed to work. People rushed through the streets. Stores opened. Traffic filled the roads. Life moved on, yet something felt different. Several times she glanced behind her. The strange feeling remained. Like someone was watching, following, waiting. She tried to ignore it, but the feeling wouldn't disappear. Thousands of miles away, Kang Min-Jae slowly opened his eyes. Bright hospital lights greeted him. His vision blurred, then gradually focused. A doctor immediately approached. "Mr. Kang, can you hear me?" Min-Jae nodded. His head hurt terribly. "What happened?" The doctor hesitated. "Your vehicle crashed." Memories returned instantly. The speeding truck, the impact, the smoke, the explosion. Min-Jae frowned. He knew something wasn't right. This had not been an accident. Someone had planned it. Someone wanted him dead. He turned toward his security team. "Who saved me?" The room fell silent. Then his chief bodyguard stepped forward. "A young woman." Min-Jae looked surprised. "A woman?" "Yes, sir. She pulled you from the vehicle moments before it exploded." Min-Jae stared at the ceiling. A stranger had risked her life for him. Someone who didn't know his name, didn't know his wealth, didn't know his status. Yet she helped him anyway. That was rare, very rare. "What is her name?" The bodyguard checked his notes. "Amara." Min-Jae repeated the name quietly. "Amara." For some reason the name felt familiar, though he couldn't explain why. "Find her." The bodyguard nodded. "We already have." "Good." Min-Jae's expression softened. "I want to thank her personally." Later that evening, Amara finished work and started walking home. The streets were quieter now. The sun had begun to set. Suddenly she heard footsteps. Behind her, slow, steady. She stopped walking. The footsteps stopped too. Amara turned around. Nothing, no one. She frowned. Maybe she was imagining things. She continued walking. The footsteps returned, this time closer. A chill ran down her spine. She looked back again, still nothing. Then she noticed something strange. A black car parked ahead. The engine was running. Its windows were dark. She couldn't see inside. Something felt wrong, very wrong. Amara crossed the street. The vehicle slowly moved, following her. Her heartbeat quickened. She walked faster. The vehicle matched her speed. Fear spread through her chest. Someone was definitely watching her. The car suddenly accelerated. Amara's eyes widened. Without thinking, she ran. People turned to look as she sprinted through the crowded streets. The vehicle followed. Her heart pounded. Her lungs burned. She turned into a narrow alley, then another, then another. The vehicle struggled to keep up. Finally, she reached a crowded marketplace. Hundreds of people filled the area. Amara quickly disappeared into the crowd. Several minutes later, she hid behind a small shop, breathing heavily, waiting, watching. No sign of the car, no sign of the men. For now, she had escaped. Inside the vehicle, one of the men cursed. "We lost her." His partner slammed a fist against the dashboard. "This is bad." The first man looked toward the marketplace. "We'll find her again." A cold smile appeared on his face. Nobody stays hidden forever. That same night, another luxury vehicle stopped outside Amara's home. This one looked different, more expensive, more professional. Several men in dark suits stepped out. One approached the door. Knock, knock, knock. Amara opened it carefully. "Yes," the man bowed politely. "Miss Amara," she nodded. "Who are you?" "My name is Park." He handed her a card. "I represent Mr. Kang Min-Jae." Her eyes widened. "The billionaire, the accident victim." Park smiled warmly. "Mr. Kang would like to thank you personally." Amara blinked. "Me?" "Yes, you saved his life." Before she could answer, her mother appeared behind her. Something about the situation made her nervous. Park seemed to understand. "I know this is unexpected." He handed Amara a sealed envelope. "Please read this." With another respectful bow, the men returned to their vehicle and drove away. The family gathered around the envelope. Amara slowly opened it. Inside was a handwritten note, just one sentence. "Thank you for saving my life. I hope we can meet soon." Kang Min-Jae attached to the note was something else. A check. Amara stared, then blinked, then stared again. The amount written on it was unbelievable. Her mother gasped. Her brother nearly dropped the envelope. The money could solve every problem they had, every debt. Every bill, everything. Yet instead of feeling happy, Amara felt uneasy. Why would a billionaire give so much money to a stranger? And why did she feel as though accepting it would pull her into a dangerous world? Far away, the masked man received a phone call. "Sir, we have confirmation." The masked man's eyes narrowed. "What is it?" "Kang Min-Jae has contacted the girl." The room became silent. For the first time, genuine concern appeared on his face. "That's impossible." "Sir," the masked man slowly stood. His voice became cold. "If those two meet." He looked toward an old photograph lying on his desk, a photograph containing a little girl and a little boy taken 20 years earlier. Everything could be ruined. He picked up the photograph, staring at it. Then whispered words that would change everything, because their connection started long before the accident. Amara could barely sleep that night. The check remained on the table. Every time she looked at it, it felt unreal. A few days earlier, she had been worried about paying bills. Now she was holding enough money to change her family's future. Yet the strange feeling in her chest refused to disappear. Something wasn't right, something bigger was happening, and somehow she was at the center of it. Across the world, Kang Min-Jae sat alone in his hospital room. The doctors had ordered him to rest, but resting was impossible. Too many questions filled his mind: the attempted assassination, the accident, the people who wanted him dead, and most importantly, Amara. He looked again at the report his security team had prepared. A photograph of Amara stared back at him. The moment he saw her face, a strange feeling washed over him. Familiar, impossible, yet familiar. Min-Jae frowned. Why did he feel as though he had seen her before? His fingers slowly tapped the edge of the folder. Then he noticed something. A small silver necklace visible in one of the photographs. His eyes widened. No, it couldn't be. He grabbed the picture and looked closer. The necklace carried a tiny symbol, half of a broken star. Min-Jae immediately stood up, ignoring the pain in his body, ignoring the doctor's instructions, because 20 years ago, he had owned the other half. The next morning, Amara received a phone call. Unknown number. She hesitated before answering. Hello. Miss Amara, the voice belonged to Park, Kang Min-Jae's representative. Mr. Kang has been discharged from the hospital. Amara sat upright. Oh, he would like to meet you. The room suddenly felt smaller. Meet him, the billionaire himself, Park continued. A private dinner has been arranged tomorrow evening. Amara didn't know what to say. People like Kang Min-Jae existed in a completely different world, yet somehow he wanted to meet her. I'll think about it, of course. The call ended. Her mother immediately looked at her. Was that him? Amara nodded. Her mother remained silent for a moment, then she said something unexpected. I think you should go. Amara looked surprised. You do? Yes. Why? Her mother smiled. Because opportunities like this don't come twice. Neither of them noticed the man watching from outside, hidden inside a parked vehicle, holding a camera, every movement, every conversation, every visitor being recorded. The masked man's people were watching, and waiting. The following evening finally arrived. Amara stood in front of the mirror, nervous, very nervous. She didn't own expensive clothes. She didn't own designer handbags. She wasn't part of the wealthy world. She was just herself. Eventually she took a deep breath and left. The restaurant was unlike anything she had ever seen. Crystal chandeliers, elegant decorations, private security everywhere. When she entered, a hostess immediately greeted her. Miss Amara, she nodded. This way, please. Several guests turned to look at her, curious. Wondering who she was, Amara felt uncomfortable under their gaze. The hostess led her to a private dining room, then opened the door. Inside sat Kang Min-Jae. For the first time she saw him fully awake. He stood immediately. Their eyes met, and for a brief moment, neither spoke. Something strange passed between them, as though they were remembering something they couldn't quite reach. Something buried deep in the past. Finally Min-Jae smiled. Thank you for coming. Amara nodded. Thank you for inviting me. They sat down. For several minutes they talked. At first the conversation felt awkward, but gradually it became easier. Min-Jae quickly realized something. Amara treated him like a normal person. Not a billionaire, not a celebrity, just a man, and he liked that. Very much. Meanwhile, Amara discovered that the powerful businessman was very different from what she expected. He was polite, calm, thoughtful, nothing like the arrogant billionaires she had imagined. For the first time in days, both of them laughed. Neither noticed the figure watching from a nearby building. A sniper, looking through a scope, waiting patiently. Inside the restaurant, dinner continued. Until suddenly, CRSH, a window shattered. Guests screamed. Chaos erupted. Security agents immediately moved. DOWN, Min-Jae tackled Amara to the floor. A bullet tore through the room, missing them by inches. Panic exploded everywhere. More screaming, more confusion. Bodyguards rushed toward Min-Jae. Protect him. The sniper fired again. Glass shattered. Tables overturned. Guests fled. Within seconds, security surrounded both Min-Jae and Amara. The attack lasted less than 30 seconds, then the sniper disappeared, gone as if he had never existed. Outside, the assassin climbed into a vehicle. A phone rang. He answered. Did you kill him? The assassin shook his head. No. The caller became silent, then angry. What happened? The assassin glanced through the rearview mirror. The girl. What about her? Kang Min-Jae protected her. The line went quiet, very quiet. Finally the caller spoke. Interesting. The voice belonged to the masked man, and for the first time, he smiled because the attack had confirmed something he feared. The connection between Amara and Kang Min-Jae was growing stronger, much faster than expected. Back at the restaurant, security escorted Min-Jae and Amara to safety. Amara's hands trembled. She had never experienced anything like this. People were trying to kill him, for real. Min-Jae noticed her fear. I'm sorry. She looked at him. For what? For dragging you into this. Amara stared at him, then slowly shook her head. You didn't, the answer surprised him. You saved my life once. She smiled slightly. I guess now we're even. For the first time that night, Min-Jae laughed, but deep inside, he knew they were far from even because someone was hunting them, and the reason went back decades. Later that night, Min-Jae returned to his penthouse. Waiting for him was an elderly man, his most trusted advisor. The old man looked worried. Did you see the necklace? Min-Jae froze. How do you know about that? The advisor slowly sat down, his face pale because he had hoped he was wrong. Unfortunately, he wasn't. The necklace belonged to the child. Min-Jae's heartbeat accelerated. The child who disappeared. The old man nodded. Silence filled the room. Neither wanted to say the words aloud, because if they were true, everything would change. Finally, the advisor whispered, Mr. Kang, I think Amara may be the girl everyone believed died 20 years ago. Min-Jae's eyes widened. At that exact moment, his phone rang. An unknown number, he answered. A distorted voice spoke, cold, dangerous, and filled with hatred. Stay away from the girl. Min-Jae's expression hardened. Who are you? The voice laughed. If you continue searching for the truth, you'll both die. The call ended. Min-Jae slowly lowered the phone. For the first time in years, he felt genuinely afraid, because whoever was behind this already knew everything, and the game had only just begun. And that's where we'll end today's story. Will Amara discover the truth about her past? Who is the mysterious masked man? And why does everyone seem determined to keep her away from Kang Min-Jae? You'll find out in the next chapter. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. See you in the next episode.